Hello, I'm Paul Dowding, co-founder and head of design for L4S Core, and we're going to be demonstrating TapestryX, which is a network accounting ledger which has unique capabilities. Two of those key capabilities are that it records accounting journals in the hashlink record, but more importantly, because it has transacting periods and accounting, it can record future dated obligations, i.e. payables and receivables, which are inherent in a lot of common transaction life cycles. And today, we're looking at accruing, receiving, and paying a dividend to two different parties. So in our network, we have a custodian, which have multiple accounts, but we've got a representative account from an asset manager, and a clearing broker, node B, which is has many accounts, and a representative broker called Paul. So the airlock node, which acts as a depository, would receive the gross dividend, and it will actually pay it out to the two parties. So when we look on the system and see what's actually recorded, and for simplicity's sake, we've combined the accrual and the payment in the same period. Obviously, it would be future dated, but please note that we have a period when the transactions are created and a period when they're due. So when we're recording what is effectively an obligation to pay, it could be future dated. But what we're showing you here is that the airlock accrues two dividends and receives a gross dividend and pays two dividends. So what does that mean? It's accruing the obligation of 7,000 and 3,000 to be paid, 7,000 to Will as the asset manager and the custodian, and 3,000. So when we're talking about an obligation, you have a payable in the airlock and a receivable in each of the nodes for their respective dividends. However, the custodian will receive a gross receipt of 10,000 from the market, external. So this is where we would receive 10,000 as a depository. That's then tokenized as $10,000 to be paid digitally. So therefore, in each payment, you would have a reversal of the obligation to pay the 7,000 and transfer of 7,000 to the asset manager Will in node A. And in node B, we'd have the reverse of the 3,000 obligation to pay Paul in node B and the transfer of the 3,000. And then on the flip side, what Will and Paul see in their respective nodes is Will sees a reversal of the 7,000 and a receipt of the 7,000, and Paul sees a reversal of the 3,000, accrued dividend and a payment of the dividend to him. So very simply, what we're showing is that we can accrue and then pay a dividend, and we can also have different amounts in terms of the gross receipt versus the individual payments to individual parties. And again, these are processed as contra transactions, so each of the sequence of transactions are processed simultaneously. And again, another unique capability of TapestryX is that transactions are synchronized on the ledger using the transaction data alone. We don't need consensus algorithm or independent validators. So looking at a recap of what we've done here. On the accrued dividend, Will's custodian and Paul's clearing broker nodes recorded dividend receivables based on the announced corporate action in their holdings. The airlock depository recorded dividend payable against its holdings in each node simultaneously, and that means that therefore they were confirming the amounts to be paid, both in terms of the gross receipt to the airlock and the individual payments to the nodes. Then when the dividend is received, it's a paid dividend. So the airlock received the dividend payment escrowed in ABC Co, and then allocated and paid that dividend to each node holding tokenized ABC Co. Each node simultaneously credited their clients' accounts, Will and Paul, and all the dividend accruals were then settled or reversed upon the payment. It's key to note that the process of reversing and transferring from airlock to node A or airlock to node B were both processed simultaneously. Thank you for listening.